So I was thinking back when America Online kind of was somewhat new, or at least new to me, and they had those profiles, and you would put like far too much information, like where you worked and who you are, what your hobbies were, because it was sort of before we knew about like the Craigslist killer and stuff like that. So we were very forthcoming. So I remember one night I was bored and I decided I was going to try to find somebody who had like the exact same interests as I did. So I got very specific, and I looked for somebody who liked the music group They Might Be Giants, Kurt Vonnegut, Steve Martin, and just put all these things in that were very particular. And I find this girl, Tommy from Tuscaloosa. So I instant messaged her and I said, hey, take a look at my profile. We have quite a bit in common. So we start talking on the internet, and after a while we brought it to the next level, which was the telephone. And we're talking for a while, and she said, and one day she said, Kevin, it would be really neat to come out and meet you sometime. And I said, oh yeah, that would be kind of cool. What do you want to do? And she said, well, we could like go to the movies or something. And I said, and I thought, like, that's kind of weird that she would want to fly all the way here just to go to the movies. And then she said a couple other things that were sort of weird, and I thought, all right, I think I'm done with Tommy. But what do you do? Like, do you get to break up with her? So she calls the next day, and she said, I have a surprise for you. I'm coming to Philadelphia. So now I'm a little freaked out. And I said, well, when are you coming? She said, I'm coming Thursday through Sunday. Well, that's a lot of time. And then she said, but I saved a couple of dollars, and I'm going to fly into Baltimore because it's a little bit cheaper and it seems like it's really close to you. Well, in Tommy's defense, if you look at the Philadelphia International Airport and the Baltimore Airport on a map, it's like inches. But I didn't want to explain the whole Matt Key thing to her, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So the day comes that she's going to come out, and I drive to Baltimore, and I'm running a little bit late, so I start like running down the corridor to try to find her, and all of a sudden I hear, Kevin? And I look over, and I'll never forget just seeing this Tommy from Tuscaloosa sitting there. And she just had this big green corduroy jacket, this crazy red frizzy hair, which length was like here, but distribution sort of like everywhere. And it was like you know, those Play-Doh things where you go like that and the hair just sort of rises. So that was Tommy. So we're driving back, and she sees a crane doing some construction, and she said, Kevin, look, a crane, which was a reference to a They Might Be Giants song. But any guy will tell you that, like, when a girl that you're interested in wants to talk to you about anything, you're interested. Like, you know, the girl says, like, I got split ends. You're like, oh man, that totally sucks and it's not fair. There's got to be a conditioner for that, and we're going to find it. But Tommy may as well have said to me, I just soiled my pants. So I didn't know what to say, so I'm like, I'm driving home, and I have like 2 hours to just figure out, like, what am I going to do now? So I know that we're not going to stay at my house, so we stop at the George Washington Motor Lodge, which, if you're a trucker, you're familiar with. And I thought, all right, I just need to drive home, and I need to collect my thoughts. So I call all of my friends, and I'm like, look, I'm in a situation here. From now until Sunday, all of your free time, it's got to be spent with me. I need to negotiate this. So my friends were fantastic. My friend Todd said, look, come to my place in Manayunk, stay here for a few days. Heather's coming up tomorrow night. That was his girlfriend. You guys all come up together. So I'm like, fine. So then now I have just one day that I have to kill alone. So I said, surprise, we're going to the movies like you liked. And my only criteria when I was looking for the movie was just running time. So I was like looking for anything that was like maybe playing like Ben-Hur or something like that. So we get through the day, and Heather comes over, and we're going to drive separately. I said to Heather, do me a favor. You have to drive Tommy. I just need to drive alone. I need a little bit of time. She said, okay, fine. So she drives up. I called Todd, and I said, Todd, here's my credit card number. Call Philadelphia International Airport. Get a flight out of here. I'll make up a story for the reason why. Make it like tomorrow or the next day, whatever. I don't care what it costs. He said, all right, well, when you get up here, here's going to be the sign. If the bathroom door is open, then I got you the flight. If it's closed, I couldn't get you a flight. So we show up, we walk in, the bathroom door is closed, there's chairs stacked in front of the door. He put police caution tape all over the door. So now I knew we had Tommy for the next 3 days. Tommy spent 3 days telling us how her IQ was 185, and I play the lead in every show in Tuscaloosa. I'm the romantic interest of everything. So, without boring you with everything that happened for the next 3 days, the day finally, or actually it was the night before I got to take her home, and it had like sort of that like Christmas feel to it, because you couldn't believe that it was like finally almost over. Get up the next morning, got her there with like, went like 105 miles an hour in my Toyota Corolla, got her to the airport about 3 hours early, and then got to drive the 2 inches home for 2.5 hours thinking about what a nice guy I was for taking her for all 3 days.